Hey everyone. In this video I want to discuss why it's so difficult to get the kind of partner you desire. And well, usually the main reason is because you simply aren't ready yet. Yeah, I know this isn't what anyone wants to hear, but this is often the case because you can't quite aim for getting the most attractive, the best partners out there if you also don't fall into that category. And when I say the most attractive, I don't just mean simply the best looking, because that's just one aspect of attractiveness. But there's so much more going on here, like being a great person, being funny, being charming, being confident, having your life together for the most part, or at least knowing the direction you're heading in. Things like that all make you more attractive. Being kind and caring, those are probably some huge ones. So it is not all looks based, so please don't use that as some excuse for why you can't work on improving yourself, because there are always things you can do to make yourself more attractive to others. But that usually is the main reason why people struggle to find someone worth getting into a relationship with, because they haven't worked on themselves enough to be able to attract the kind of partner they desire. It's like how you see all these people on social media, on TikTok and whatnot, who say they want like the best possible partners out there. They'll label some traits like women wanting a man who makes six figures, wanting him to be very confident and tall and charismatic and funny and that sort of thing. And yet the woman who's wanting all these qualities in a man doesn't really have much to offer herself. That's an issue, right? Like, she's not going to be able to attract the best men out there if she is not one of the best women herself. And you also see this with men as well, men wanting just really great, kind, caring women who will take care of them and whatnot, and maybe even cook for them and that sort of thing. And yet this man has done nothing to warrant being able to attract a woman like that, right? So it goes both ways. Basically, the whole point is you must become what you wish to attract. And if you don't have the qualities you seek in someone else, good luck attracting someone who has those qualities. Quite often you'll realize that like the best people out there, they tend to date along similar lines as them. In fact, most people do for the most part. The only time people will really kind of date along different lines is if one of them, the person who maybe has more to offer, if that person is insecure and that sort of thing, so they go for someone who maybe doesn't have as much to offer, but it's because they believe they can't find anyone better. That's like really one of the few cases where you'll find this phenomenon of someone dating someone who may be a bit beneath them. And I don't mean that in a way as like, they're a lesser person than them. It just means they may not have worked on themselves as much. That's what I mean here. So yeah, if you want to attract the best people out there, you must become great yourself. So that is what you want to focus on. And if I could share a piece of advice for some things to work on, in my opinion, I believe the three things I'm about to share with you are probably some of the most important qualities you can strive to adopt, because everything else is kind of just icing on the cake if you have these three qualities. These to me are like the most important things that I pay attention to in women when I'm dating, and a lot of other people pay attention to these as well because of how important they are and how they have a lot of little other qualities that tend to be acquired when someone has these three qualities to begin with. They're kind of like the foundation for creating healthy relationships. And what these three qualities are self-awareness, emotional maturity, and being happy on your own. Those are the three things I would suggest everyone should work on acquiring. And self-awareness is, as it sounds like, it's you having the capability to understand when you're holding yourself back, when you're projecting your own issues onto other people. It allows you to take responsibility for your actions and your emotions and that sort of thing. It's basically all about knowing when you are what's causing issues in your life or in your relationships. When someone lacks self-awareness, it can make them very unevolved. It can make them difficult to be around because they'll often blame other people for their own issues. And they may even play the victim at times, even though they're causing all the things that they're blaming on others. So this is why self-awareness is so important. You can't really create a healthy relationship without it. Now, the second thing, emotional maturity, that's all about you being able to control your emotions in healthy ways, which doesn't mean not feeling your emotions or like not having them. you need to have your emotions, right? Everyone has emotions. It's all a matter of how we deal with them, how we react to them, because you're not going to be able to stop yourself from feeling them in general, right? So that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be to delay acting on them. This is what emotional maturity is all about. It's about feeling your emotions, but then recognizing, hey, whoa, I'm feeling like angry right now. Maybe I should just take a deep breath, pause for a moment before I say or do anything next. A lot of people don't do that, right? Like they feel angry, they don't even know that they're feeling angry, and they just start acting and saying mean things to their partner, or throwing things, or punching the wall, or God forbid, even hurting other people. And that's an issue. So emotional maturity is all about creating a gap between stimulus and response when it comes to feeling an emotion and acting on it. It's about just slowing things down, taking deep breaths, pausing for a moment, and saying in your mind, I do not want to let these emotions control me. I don't want to let them guide my actions. So now when you're feeling angry at something and your partner is talking to you about it, rather than directing that anger at them, which would be the wrong thing to do, especially if it's not their fault that you feel angry, now it'll allow you to take a deep breath and pause and say, hey, look, I'm going to need some space from you for a moment. I'm feeling a bit frustrated right now. It has nothing to do with you, but I need some space so I can work through these emotions in a healthy way. And your partner should be mature enough to understand that, and they'll give you that space. And now you can practice feeling those emotions without taking them out on other people. And should other people make you get angry or frustrated, again, just ask them for space. And if they don't respect that, it's probably not someone you want to keep in your life, or at least someone you shouldn't have in your inner circle. Like if your partner is like that, probably want to find someone better, because they should let you have a healthy relationship with your emotions. But that's how you practice emotional maturity. It's all about creating a gap between feeling an emotion and acting on it, so that for the most part you can strive not to act on your emotions most of the time, because usually it's not really helpful. There are some situations where acting on your emotions is warranted, but the vast majority of the time it's not really going to lead anywhere good. And then the last thing that I shared with you is working on becoming happy on your own. This one is huge as well, because it's very difficult to create a healthy relationship if you're not happy by yourself. What that usually will mean is that you'll place your happiness, you'll outsource it to other people. You'll try to make your partner make you, or make them the sole source of your happiness. And that's not fair, right? Like they don't want to be responsible for you being happy. That's just too much pressure for anyone to have, because nobody can make anyone else happy, and everybody pretty much knows that to some extent. So as soon as you place your happiness on someone else, it's a burden that they don't want. You need to be comfortable creating your happiness on your own, so that way you never place it unfairly on someone else. This also means that you'll be able to create a good life experience for yourself even when you're not in a relationship. You'll be able to do the things you enjoy by yourself, not always needing other people to be there for you so you can do those things. Like it's really powerful to be able to do things you enjoy by yourself, because then you're not waiting for other people to finally be happy. That's a huge mistake, because there will be times in our lives where we just may not have our friends around. They may be out on vacation or whatever. Maybe we move somewhere else and have to make new friends, so we won't always have other people around us to do things with. And in those moments, you want to make sure you can still find happiness, still create happiness on your own, so that you're not constantly relying on other people to finally be happy. It's a big mistake. So go out there and do the things that you love by yourself. Learn how to be happy on your own, how to enjoy your own company, and that will make you so freaking attractive to people that it's difficult for me to even put into words. It's like one of the most attractive qualities someone can have is being able to be happy on their own, being able to enjoy life by themselves. It almost always makes people somewhat magnetic, because other people like seeing that, and then they know that if they date you, you're not going to place your happiness on them. So yet again, you're not going to burden them. So those three qualities are probably the main things I would say you should strive to work on. Again, they are self-awareness, emotional maturity, and being happy on your own. If you work on acquiring those qualities, that will give you a good foundation to work with for attracting the best partners out there, because these are, again, qualities you're going to want to seek in other people. If they don't have these qualities, they're probably not someone you want to date either. But again, that means you need to make sure that you have these qualities yourself to begin with. Otherwise, it'll be tricky to attract someone who has them as well. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. For the most part, the main reason people can't attract the kind of partners they desire is because they're just not ready yet. Sometimes I will admit that it's just because it can be tricky to find people who work on themselves. Unfortunately, they're pretty rare. Most people just don't consciously strive to become better over time, and it's unfortunate, but oh well, right? Like, that is a thing, but most people I've found haven't even worked on themselves enough to be able to attract those people should they find them. So work on that first, and then you can worry about the fact that these people are rare. And yeah, it's unfortunate, and I don't really have answers to that side of the equation, because really the only thing that would help there is the education system getting better, or like cultures having better values and teaching other people to work on themselves and become better, but it's not really happening. So that side of the equation is pretty much out of our control, which is why I didn't mention it until the very end of this video. So work on what you can control, which is becoming a great partner yourself, so then should you luck out in running into someone great, you'll be able to attract them. But that's all I have for you guys. Truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other thoughts that I didn't mention here, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!